Hi friends, this is Dr. Ashok Kumar Madhav here. In this session, I'll be discussing with you about introducing agronomy. Introduction. Among all the branches of agriculture, agronomy occupies a pivotal position and is regarded as the mother or primary branch. Like agriculture, agronomy is an integrated and applied aspect within different disciplines of pure sciences. Agronomy is a broad level science of different branches such as crop science, soil science, and environmental science. Agronomy is a synthesis of several disciplines like crop science, which includes plant breeding, crop physiology, and biochemistry, etc., and soil science, which includes soil fertilizers, manures, etc., and environmental science, which includes meteorology and crop ecology. Agronomy is derived from Greek word agros, meaning field, and nomos, meaning management. The principles of agronomy deal with the scientific facts in relation to the environment under which the crops are produced. The principle of agronomy is derived based on two major purposes: developing an understanding about the important principles underlying the management. Number two, developing an ability to apply these principles to production situations. There are 9 major principles of agronomy, such as agrometeorology, study of climate, climatic factors in related to agriculture. Number two, soils and tillage. Tillage is the agricultural preparation of the soil by plowing, ripping, or turning it. There are two types of tillage: primary and secondary tillage. Soil is a natural body consisting of layers of mineral constituents of variable thicknesses, which differ from the parent materials in their morphological, physical, chemical, and mineralogical characteristics. A third one is soils and water conservation. Water conservation refers to reducing the usage of water and recycling of wastewater for different purposes: cleaning, manufacturing, agriculture, etc. The fourth one is dryland agriculture. Dryland farming is an agriculture technique for cultivating land which receives little rainfall. Fifth one is mineral nutrition of plants, manures, and fertilizers. Plant nutrition is the study of the chemical elements that are necessary for plant growth. The sixth one is irrigation and water management. Water management is the activity of planning, developing, distributing, and optimum use of water resources under defined water policies and regulations. The seventh one is weed management. Management of unwanted plant in field. Eighth, cropping and farming systems. 9. Sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture refers to the ability of a farm to produce fertile soil and cows without causing severe or irreversible damage to ecosystem health. Agronomy, according to enviroeducation.com, agronomy is the science of crop production and soil management. It focuses on the growth, management, and improvement of field crops such as corn, barley, soybeans, and wheat, with the goal of increasing food supplies while maintaining a healthy environment. Some other prominent definitions are: it is defined as an agricultural science that deals with the principles and practices of crop production and field management. Agronomy is a branch of agricultural science which deals with the principles and practices of soil, water, and crop management. It's a branch of agricultural science that deals with the methods which provide a favorable environment to the crop for higher productivity. Crop management and its scientific study, the agronomy, are part of system that comprises of physical elements such as climate, soil, or land, biological constituents of the vegetation and soil, economic opportunities and constraints of markets, sales and profit, and social circumstances and preferences of those who work on the land. Scope of agronomy. Agronomy is a dynamic discipline that deals with the advancement of knowledge and better understanding of planet, environment, and agriculture. Agronomy science becomes imperative in the following areas of agriculture: identification of proper season for cultivation of wide range of crops is needed. Proper methods of cultivation are needed to reduce the cost of cultivation and maximize the yield and economic returns. Availability and application of chemical fertilizers has necessitated the need to reduce the ill effects during excess application and yield losses due to the unscientific manner of application. Availability of herbicides for control of weeds has led to development for a vast knowledge about selectivity, time, and method of its application. Water management practices play greater role in present day crisis of water demand, and agronomy answers to the questions how much to apply and when to apply. Intensive cropping is the need of the day, and proper time and space intensification not only increase the production but also reduces the environmental hazards. New technology to overcome the effect of moisture stress under dry land condition is explored by agronomy, and future agriculture depends on dry land agriculture. Practices to explore the full potential of new varieties of crops are the most important aspects in crop production. Keeping farm implements in good shape and utilizing them in an efficient manner to nullify the present day labor crisis. Maintaining the ecological balance through efficient management of crops, livestock, and their feedings in a rational manner. Care and disposal of farm and animal products like milk and eggs, and proper maintenance of accounts of all transactions concerning farm business. Relation of agronomy to other sciences. We'll see to it. Agronomy is the main branch of agriculture. It is a combination of several disciplines such as soil science, agricultural chemistry, crop physiology, plant ecology, biochemistry, and economics. The soil science helps the agronomist to thoroughly understand the soil physical, chemical, and biological properties to affect modification of the soil environment. The agricultural chemistry helps the agronomist to understand the chemical composition and changes involved in the production, protection, and use of crops and livestock. The crop physiology helps to understand the basic life process of crops, to understand functioning of each parts of plant to determine their input requirement like nutrients, etc. The plant ecology helps us to understand the associated environment in which the crops grown, like the influence of weather, that is temperature, rainfall, etc. The biochemistry shows the way in which biochemical process takes place in crops, which helps to understand critical requirements to favorably activate this process. The economics paves the way for profit and loss analysis in farming. Role of agronomist. Agronomist is a scientist who deals with the study of problems in crop production and adopting recommended practices of better field crop production and soil management to get high yield and income. Some prominent functions of an agronomist include the following. Agronomist aims at obtaining maximum production at minimum cost by exploiting the knowledge of the basic and applied sciences for higher crop production. Agronomist is concerned with the production of food and fiber to meet the needs of growing population. Agronomist develops an efficient and economic field preparation method for sowing crops in different seasons, flatbed, ridges and furrows. Agronomist is also involved in the selection of suitable crop and varieties to suit varied seasons and soils. Example, red soil, groundnut, black soil, cotton, sandy soil, tuberous crops, saline soil, finger millet, that is raga. Agronomist provides better crop establishment and maintain required population which involves efficient method of cultivation, whether broadcasting, nursery and transplantation or dibbling, etc. Agronomist identifies the various types of nutrients required by crops, including time and method of application. Example, for long duration rice, 150, 60, 60 kg nitrogen per kilogram. Short duration, 120, 50, 50 kg phosphate per hectare. Basal and nutrient in nitrogen and in the splits. Agronomist selects a better weed management practice either through mechanical or physical by human work or chemical, that is herbicides or weedicides. Example, 2,4-D or cultural by having wide space. It may increase weed growth by using interspace crops. Weeds are controlled by integrated weed management method. Agronomist selects proper irrigation method, irrigation scheduling, that is, irrigation timing and quantity based on the crops to be irrigated. Whether to irrigate continuously or stop in between, and how much water to be supplied are computed by agronomy science so as to achieve maximum water use efficiency. Agronomist performs crop planting, that is, suitable crop sequence are developed by agronomists, that is, what type of crop, cropping pattern, cropping sequence, etc. Rice, pulse. Agronomists are also develops the methods of harvesting, time for harvesting, etc. Agronomist is responsible for every decision made in the farm management. Agroclimatic zones. An agroclimatic zone is a land unit which is uniform in respect of climate and length of growing period. That is the length, LGP, what they call it as. It is climatically suitable for a certain range of crops and cultivators. Classification of agroclimatic zones by Planning Commission of India. In 1989, the Planning Commission of India made an attempt to delineate the country into different agroclimatic regions based on the homogeneity of rainfall, temperature, topography, cropping and farming systems, and water resources. India is divided into 15 major agroclimatic regions. They are: number 1, Western Himalayan Zone; number 2, Eastern Himalayan Zone; number 3, Lower Gangetic Plains Zone; number 4, Middle Gangetic Plains Zone; number 5, Upper Gangetic Plains Zone; 6, Trans-Gangetic Plains Zone; 7, Eastern Plateau and Hills Zone; 8, Central Plateau and Hills Zone; 9, Western Plateau and Hills Zone; 10, Southern Plateau and Hills Zone; 11, East Coast Plains and Hills Zone; 12, West Coast Plains and Ghats Zone; 13, Gujarat Plains and Hills Zone; 14, Western Dry Zone; 15. Island zone. Western Himalayan zone consists of three distinct subzones of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh hills. The region consists of skeletal soils of cold region, subordilic mountain meadow soils and hilly brown soils. Lands of the region have steep slopes in understanding terrain. Soils are generally silt loams and these are prone to erosion hazards. Eastern Himalayan zone consists of Sikkim and Darjeeling hills, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, Tripura, Mizoram, Assam and Jalpaiguri and Koch Bihar districts of West Bengal fall under this region, with high rainfall and high forest cover. Shifting cultivation is practiced in nearly one third of the cultivated area, and this has caused denudation and degradation of soils with the resultant heavy runoff, massive soil erosion, and floods in lower reaches and basins. Lower Gangetic Plains zone consists of West Bengal Lower Gangetic Plain region. The soils are mostly alluvial and are prone to floods. Middle Gangetic Plains zone consists of 12 districts of eastern Uttar Pradesh and 27 districts of Bihar Plains. This zone has a geographical area of 16 million hectares and rainfall is high. About 39% of gross cropped area is irrigated and the cropping intensity is 142%. Upper Gangetic Plains zone consists of 32 districts of UP. Irrigation is through canals and tube wells. A good potential for exploitation of groundwater exists. Transgangetic Plains zone consists of Punjab, Haryana, Union Territories of Delhi and Chandigarh, and Sri Ganganagar district of Rajasthan. The major characteristics of this area are highest net sown area, highest irrigated area, high cropping intensity, and high groundwater utilization. Eastern plateau and hill zones consist of eastern part of Madhya Pradesh, southern part of West Bengal, and most of inland Orissa. The soils are shallow and medium in depth, and the topography is undulating with a slope of 1 to 10%. Irrigation is through tanks and tube wells. Central Plateau and Hills Zone comprises of 46 districts of Madhya Pradesh, part of Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan. The topography is highly variable. Nearly one third of the land is not available for cultivation. Irrigation and cropping intensity are low. 75% of the area is rain-fed, grown with low-value cereal crops. There is an intensive need for alternative high-value crops, including horticultural crops. Western Plateau and Hills Zone comprises the major part of Maharashtra, parts of Madhya Pradesh, and one district of Rajasthan. The average rainfall of the zone is 904 mm. The net sown area is 65% and forests occupy 11%. The irrigated area is only 12.4%, with canals being the main source. Southern Plateau and Hills Zone comprises 35 districts of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu, which are typically semi-arid zones. Dryland farming is adopted in 81% of the area and the cropping intensity is 111%. East Coast Plains and Hills Zone comprises of east coast of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Orissa. Soils are mainly alluvial and coastal sands. Irrigation is through canals and tanks. West Coast Plains and Ghats Zone comprises west coast of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Goa with a variety of crop patterns, rainfall and soil types. Gujarat Plains and Hills Zone consists of 19 districts of Gujarat. This zone is arid with low rainfall in most parts and only 32.5% of the area is irrigated largely through wells and tube wells. Western Dry Zone comprises 9 districts of Rajasthan and is characterized by hot sandy desert, erratic rainfall, high evaporation, scanty vegetation. The groundwater is deep and often brackish. Famine, scarcity, and drought are common features of the region. Island zone covers the island territories of Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep, which are typically equatorial with a rainfall of 3000 mm spread over 8 to 9 months. It is largely a forest zone with undulated lands. Classification by ICAR, Indian Council for Agriculture Research. The state agriculture universities were advised to divide each state into subzones under the National Agricultural Research project under ICAR, that is NARP project, based on the rainfall pattern, cropping pattern and administrative units. 127 agroclimatic zones are classified. Agroecological zones of India. Now, an ecological region is characterized by distinct ecological responses to macroclimate as expressed in vegetation and reflected in soils, fauna and aquatic systems. Therefore, an agroecological region is the land unit on the earth's surface carved out of agroclimatic region when superimposed on different landform and soil conditions that act as modifiers of climate and length of growing period, that is the LGP. National Bureau of Soil Survey and Land Use Planning NBSS and LUP of the ICAR has delineated 20 agroecological regions, that is AERs, in the country using the FAO 1978 concept of superimposition of length of growing periods and bioclimate maps on soil physiography map. Some prominent among them are arid ecosystem, semi-arid ecosystem, subhumid ecosystem, humid perhumid ecosystem, coastal ecosystem, island ecosystem. Let's know each one of them in detail. Arid ecosystem consists of western Himalayas, cold ecoregion, shallow soils which has LGP less than 90 days. Western plain, Kachho and parts of Kathaiwar Peninsula had hot arid ecoregion, desert and saline soils which has LPG less than 90 days. Deccan Plateau hot arid ecoregion, red and black soils which has LGP less than 90 days. Semi-arid ecosystem consists of northern plain and central highlands, hot semi-arid ecoregion, alluvial soils with LGP 90 to 150 days. Central highlands, Gujarat plains, Kathaiwar peninsula, hot semi-arid ecoregion, medium and deep black soils with LGP 90 to 150 days. Subhumid ecosystem consists of northern plain, hot subhumid dry ecoregion, red and black soils with LGP 150 to 180 days. Central highlands, hot subhumid ecoregion, black and red soils, that is LGP is 150 to 180, that is 210 days. Eastern plateau, hot subunit ecoregion, red and yellow soils with LPG 150 to 180 days. Next, humid per 100 ecosystem consists of Bengal and Assam plain, hot subhumid moist to humid ecoregion, alluvial soils with LPG 210 plus 10 days. Eastern Himalayas warm per humid ecoregion, brown and red hill soils with LPG 210 plus days. Coastal ecosystem consists of eastern coastal plain, hot subhumid to semi-arid ecoregion, coastal alluvium with LPG 90 to 210 plus days. Island ecosystem consists of Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep, hot humid to perhumid ecoregion, real, loomy and sandy soils with LGP 210 plus days. The major advantage of LGP based criteria is that the LGP is the direct indicative of moisture availability of a given land form rather than the total rainfall. For example, both Ratnagiri in western Maharashtra and Nagpur in eastern Maharashtra have LPG 180 to 210 plus days, but the total annual rainfall of Ratnagiri is more than 2000 mm, whereas that of Nagpur is only 1100 mm. Therefore, agro-ecosystems approach allows crop planning based on length of growing period rather than the quantity of rainfall. The state of Tamil Nadu has been classified into 7 distinct agroclimatic zones listed below. Number 1, Northeastern Zone. Number 2, Northwestern Zone. Number 3, Western Zone. Number 4, Kaveri Delta Zone. Number 5, Southern Zone. Number 6, High Rainfall Zone. Number 7, Hilly Zone. Northeastern Zone covers the districts of Tiruvallur, Vellore, Kanchipuram, Tiruvannamalai, Villupuram, Kudlur, excluding Chidambaram and Kuttamanakkoil with taluks. Some parts of Perambalur, including Ariyalur taluks and also Chennai. The mean annual rainfall of this region is 1054 mm received in 53 rainy days and is benefited by both the monsoons. The mean monthly maximum temperature ranges between 28.2 to 38.9 degrees centigrade and the minimum ranges from 19.5 to 24.8 degrees centigrade. Northwestern zone comprises of Dharampuri and Krishnagiri district excluding hilly areas, Salem, Namakkal district excluding Churchegonda taluk and Perambalur taluk of Perambalur district. The climate in this region is dry and subhumid. This region has been identified as moderately drought prone area. The elevation varies from 330 to 1070 meters above mean sea level. The mean annual rainfall of this region is appreciably lower than in north. Eastern zone and is 825 mm received in 47 rainy days. The region is benefited by both southwest and northeast monsoon rains, but unlike the NEZ, the former contributed more to the total rainfall. The mean monthly maximum temperature ranges between 30 to 37 degrees centigrade with minimum temperature ranging between 19 to 25.5 degrees centigrade. The annual PET of this region is 1727 mm compared to the annual precipitation of 825 mm. In the western zone, it comprises of Erode, Coimbatore, Dindigul, Theni districts, Churchegonde taluk of Namakkal district, Karur taluk of Karur district and some western part of Madurai district. The mean annual rainfall is 718 millimeters in 45 rainy days. The monthly mean maximum temperature is 35 degrees centigrade in April and 30 degrees centigrade in January and November. The monthly mean minimum temperature is 19 degrees centigrade in January and 24 degrees centigrade in May. Kaveri Delta zone comprises the Kaveri Delta area in Tanjavur, Nagapattinam districts and Mussoorie, Tiruchirappalli, Thuriyur and Kuttaliyal taluks of Tiruchirappalli district. Arathangdi taluk of Puttakodai district and Chidambaram and Kottamarikal. The mean annual rainfall of this zone is 1078 millimeters, out of which 40 millimeters is received during winter, 69.2 millimeters during summer. Southern zone is the biggest among the 7 zones of Tamil Nadu. It is typical zone surrounded by coastal areas on the east and mountains in the west. This zone comprises Shivagangai, Ramanathapuram, Virudhunagar, Tuticorin and Tirunelveli districts and Natham and Dindigul taluks of Dindigul district, Melur, Tirumannamangalam, Madurai South and Madurai North, taluks of Madurai district and Padukottikai district excluding Arathangadi taluk. This zone lies on the southern part of the state under rain shadow area. Because of this, the area is prone to drought very often. The climate is semi-arid tropics. The elevation varies from mean sea level to 300 meters. The mean annual rainfall is 776 millimeters received in 43 rainy days. The monthly mean maximum temperature in the region ranges from 28.5 degrees centigrade in December to 38.5 degrees centigrade in June. The monthly mean minimum temperature varies from 21.0 degrees centigrade in January to 27.5 degrees centigrade in June. High rainfall zone consists of Kanyakumari district. This district situated in the north southernmost part of the peninsular India, with its high rainfall having a climate which is entirely different from the rest of the state. The climate is monsoon tropics and there is seasonal in shores flow of moist air. The elevation ranges from sea levels to about 600 meters. The mean annual rainfall of the district is 1469 millimeters received in 64 rainy days. There is not much fluctuation in the mean monthly air temperature. The monthly mean maximum temperature varies from 28.0 degrees centigrade in December to 33.5 degrees centigrade in May. The monthly mean minimum temperature varies from 22 degrees centigrade in December to 26.5 degrees centigrade in May. High altitude and hilly zone comprises the hilly regions, namely the Nilgiris, Sherwales, Eligiri, Javadud, Kolimalai, Pattachimalai, Annamalais plains and Podigamalais. The rainfall varies from 850 mm in Kalarayan Hills to about 4500 mm in Annamalai Hills. Conclusion: define agronomy, identify the scope of agronomy, cite the relation of agronomy to other sciences, list the agronomic zones in India, list the various roles of an agronomist. In this session, we discussed about the scope of agronomy and its relation to other sciences. We also identified the different agroeconomic zones in India and also listed the role of an agronomist. Among all the branches of agriculture, agronomy occupies a pivotal position and is regarded as the mother branch or primary branch. Like agriculture, agronomy is an integrated and applied aspect of different disciplines of pure sciences. Agronomy is a synthesis of several disciplines like crop science, which includes plant breeding, crop physiology, and biochemistry, etc., and soil science, which includes soil fertilizers, manures, etc., and environmental science, which includes meteorology and crop ecology. Crop management and the scientific study of agronomy are part of a system that comprises of the physical elements such as climate, soil and land. The biological constraints of the vegetation and soil, the economic opportunities and constraints of markets, sales and profit and the social circumstances and preferences of those who work on the land. By tracing the various agroclimatic and agroeconomic zones, we can observe the variation of climatic effects on agriculture. By going through this session, we got to know that understanding the scope of agronomy will enable us to analyze the attributes and features of agronomy and also their contribution to agriculture. Thank you, friends.